Welcome. In this video, we're going to take a look at class activity 15K, making even. So we're again going to be looking at the mean, or the average here. I would encourage you to pause the video now, work through the class activity, and then watch as many parts of the video as is helpful for you. So it asks you to use 16 small objects. Starburst would work well for this if you have them, or any sort of cubes or even pennies, coins, something like that would work as well. So in the first problem, they have you make 4 towers, a tower of 2 blocks, 5 blocks, 4 blocks, and 1 block. And then they ask you to level out the towers or make them even, this idea of even distribution. Okay, so even distribution. And so if you think about that, okay, I've got this one obviously has a lot, so I'm going to take this one and I'm going to move it over here. So now I've got 3 in here, 4 here, 4 here, 1 here. Obviously I need to move some over this way. So if I move this one down, this one now has 3, this one has 2, and we can see we're almost even. If I would take 1 away from here and move it here, this one ends up giving me a tower of 3, 3, and 3. And so we could see for all of them, the mean is 3. And this is another way of thinking about this idea of even distribution. We could have taken 2 plus 5 plus 4 plus 1, and that gives us 12. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it does. All right. Gives us 12. Divide by 4 is 3. This would be the process that is typically taught. All right, let's take a look at the rest of the activity. In number 2, it asks us to do the same thing. It gives us 4 more lists. So here we could build a tower of 1, a tower of 3, a tower of 3, a tower of 2, and a tower of 1. And then we need to even them out. So we see if I would take 1 away from 3, subtract 1, and then I would add 1 to the other tower, we would have 2 there. Same way here. If I add and subtract 1, it's going to even it out. So we can see that the average, or the mean here, is 2. Doing the same here for list 2, we find similar things going on. We get a mean of 4. List 3, as we do this, we get 3 in each tower, but then we have 1 block left over. So what do we do with that extra block? Well, since we have 5 towers, we need to split that 1 block into 5 pieces and put a 1/5 of that block on each tower. So I end up with 3 and a 1/5 on that one. List 4 is going to be similar. When I rearrange, let's say I take 2 off of this one, and I move it over here. Now, they will each have 3, but this one only has 2. So what are we going to do here? We see it's got to be less than 3, but more than 2. We got to take a little bit off of each of these 3 towers and add it to this one. So how much should I take off of this tower, and this tower, so that when I put it on here, they end up evening out? Your first reaction might be a third. If I take off a third, a third, a third, and put it on here, that's going to create a problem, because then I have 2 and 3/3. I've got 3, and here I have just 2 and 2/3 on each of these. Well, that's not going to work out very well. And so instead of taking a third off, I need to take a fourth off. Fourth, a fourth. That makes this 2 3/4, as well as all of these. So my final for this tower is 2 3/4. All right. For my last one here, number 3 on the activity, it says, to calculate the mean of a list numerically, we add the numbers and divide the sum by the number of numbers in the list. So in the initial problem, we would take 2 plus 5 plus 4 plus 1, and we would divide that by 4. And it asks, how does this process here match towers? And so if you think about adding these up, we could put all of these adding together can be thought of as making a great big tower. And so I've got 2 blocks, then I've got 5 blocks, 4 blocks, and 1 block, so that I end up with a total of 12. And I didn't count that, but pretend that's 12 there. Then the dividing by 4 is really just chopping this into fourths and making 4 towers that are all the same size. And so this process is a way of evenly distributing the blocks or the money or whatever it is that we're averaging out. And so this is another important way for students to understand the mean, other than just add up all the numbers and divide by the number of numbers. This idea of even distribution is important.